The drive between Lake Louise, Alberta and Revelstoke, BC yielded a lot of train traffic, a sign of what was to come over the next couple of days. Early on in the drive, we came across this, a train with a CPKC locomotive as a mid-DPU. This is my second time seeing this locomotive paint scheme, and I really do enjoy it. Shortly afterwards, we came across a very famous landmark, the Spiral Tunnels. The Spiral Tunnels were built in 1909 on the Kicking Horse Pass to reduce the grade of the Big Hill, which came out to a whopping 4.5%, much too steep for any train to possibly be able to handle. The completion and implementation of the Spiral Tunnels was able to reduce that enormous grade to just 2.2%, much better. This is truly an impressive feat of engineering. Not too far away from the Spiral Tunnels is Field, Alberta. It's a really small town, but there is a nice little rail yard. We stopped off to look at this rail yard and we found this, a CPKC Safety Starts Here unit. I really like this livery, it's my first time seeing it. Alongside that unit we found this one, a Kansas City Southern SD70 ACE. We'll be seeing plenty of these during this video, and we saw plenty of them already during the last one, so if you want to, you can try to count how many we have seen and will see in this video and the last one. There wasn't really an awful lot to see outside of the rail yard, so we decided to move on after this. After a few more hours of driving, we finally arrived in Revelstoke, BC. The location of our campsite allowed us easy access to the Stoney Creek Bridge. This impressive steel arch bridge was constructed in 1897 and crosses the Stoney Creek below. The bridge was initially constructed using wood in 1885, but it was eventually replaced with steel in 1897. This is by far one of the most iconic shots on the entire CPKC railway, and we'll be back here soon to find a bunch more trains. Coal trains are extremely prevalent in Revelstoke, and we'll be seeing plenty of them in this video. The reason why coal trains are so prevalent here is because CPKC often transports large quantities of coal across the country from Elk Valley and delivers them to export terminals along the coast. In order to get to those export terminals, they need to cross through Revelstoke, so they're quite a common sight through the town. Now we'll take a quick break from the moving trains in order to visit the Revelstoke Railway Museum. This is probably one of the most famous railway museums in North America, definitely in Canada. It has so many different exhibits to visit, but probably the most famous among them is this, Canadian Pacific number 5468. This is a 282 Mikado type steam locomotive built in September of 1948 by the Montreal Locomotive Works. It's classified as a P2K locomotive. There's a set of stairs leading up to the cab window through which you can look into the cab itself. Steam locomotive cabs are always impressive to me. There's just so many gauges and levers. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to drive one of these things. Next to that steam locomotive was a passenger car which you could enter. Very luxurious inside there, if a bit of a tight squeeze. On the upper level of the museum, one can find this model railway. Unfortunately, none of the trains were running, but it was still pretty cool to see it. From the mezzanine on the upper level of the museum, you can get a really nice overhead view of the steam locomotive and the passenger car side by side. On the outside of the museum, there are many different locomotives and rolling stock to be seen, such as this, CP number 5500, the first of 64 SD40 locomotives ordered by CP in 1966 and 1967. Whilst you're outside of the museum, if you wait long enough, you might get lucky enough to see a CPKC freight train roll on by. In this case, an intermodal. This guy is either headed into or out of the yard nearby. Although I'm not entirely sure because I'm not exactly sure where we are in relation to that. Also in the outdoor section of the museum, there were countless rolling stock items like boxcars and tankers, a caboose, and even that really cool snowplow. Back on the inside of the museum was this cool little simulator of a diesel locomotive's cab. I thought this would be good practice for, well, I'm not going to scroll it here. Details pending, stay tuned. In an upcoming video, it's going to be awesome. Now earlier on I promised that we'd head back to the Stoney Creek Bridge to watch some more trains go by, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll get things started here with this coal train. Now, you'll notice that it's moving really slowly through here. It's about to stop, and the reason for that is that it needs to get permission from the yardmaster to enter the yard nearby. Once it does that, it'll pick up speed again, and it'll be on its way into the yard. After coming to a full stop for just a couple of minutes, it's back up and running and headed into the yard. After a few more minutes of waiting, a train comes out of the yard this time. This is a local job led by a single locomotive running light power. He's headed across the bridge to go and collect some lumber to bring it back into the yard, and we'll see him return later on with his load. But first we catch this grain train led by a CN-GE locomotive. CN locomotives on CPKC trains is becoming a surprisingly common occurrence, and I'd guess it probably has something to do with the fact that they're both Canada's most prevalent carrier railroads, and the fact that both of their main lines can be found immediately next to each other in places like Ontario, but that's just a guess. After another short wait, we witnessed the return of CP 9017, this time carrying 3 centerbeam cars loaded with wood. I don't know where it got this lumber from. I'm entirely new to the area, so if any of you knows the answer, feel free to let me know. Overall, I really enjoyed Revelstoke. It was awesome. While Banff and Lake Louise yielded quite a lot of success in terms of train traffic, Revelstoke was honestly even more so. It was really nice. I would definitely come back here someday to do more railfanning. This was great. Well, that'll do it for this video and for this 2-part series. I hope you've enjoyed watching it, and stay tuned as more railfanning content will be on the way soon.